Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV Special Bulletin. First of all, a very happy new year to all the Hornbill TV viewers. From Nefurio being elected as the Chief Minister of Nagaland for the 5th term to India's successful flight to the moon's South Pole, from the wailing and screaming protests of India's famed wrestlers over sexual abuse allegations by former Wrestling Federation of India President Brij Bhushan Charan Singh on women wrestlers to the painful and prolonging ethnic violence that shook the state of Manipur and also India helming the G20 summit, the year has been a chock full of events. Worldwide, the Israel-Palestinian conflict took center stage while countries battle inflation. In this episode of Hornbill TV, we will bring back to you all the major events that made headlines in the year 2023. To begin the show, January 2023 saw some disturbing images, meaning India's very own and proud women wrestlers taking stage in protest at Delhi's iconic Jantar Mantar. The wrestlers began their protest at Jantar Mantar accusing WFI chief Brij Bhushan Charan of sexual exploitation and intimidation and demanded his resignation and dissolution from the WFI. Spearheading the protest were ace wrestlers and Olympians Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Phogat and Bajrang Punia. The wrestlers then wrote a complaint letter to IOA President P.T. Usha and demanded the formation of an inquiry committee to probe the allegations and appointment of a new committee to run WFI. IOA then formed a 7-member committee to probe the allegations of sexual harassment. The wrestlers initially called off the protest after meeting Sports Minister Thakur after he said that an oversight committee will be formed to probe the allegations and Brij Bhushan will step aside till the probe is completed, but after which the wrestlers then resumed their protest. It was an ugly sight as our proud wrestlers could be seen being trampled upon and manhandled by Delhi police, who did not want the wrestlers to protest at the site.
हमने पहले ही दिन से जिस दिन इनकी मांग आई भी उसी दिन से ही भारतीय कुश्ती संघ को नोटिस दे दिया था 72 घंटे में अपना जवाब दें और ये उस दिन भी सुनिश्चित किया था कि खिलाड़ियों की उचित मांगों पर जो आरोप भी लगे हैं उस पर जवाब भी मांगा जाएगा और आगे की कार्रवाई भी की जाएगी.
The month of March was a nail-biting month for all the political parties in Nagaland as the state was headed for elections to the Nagaland Legislative Assembly. 60 seats in the state of Nagaland were up for grabs, with the existing Nefurio-led NDPP renewing their alliance with the BJP for the 2023 state elections. And in the end, after an intense month of campaigning and politicking, the ruling NDPP-BJP retained power in Nagaland, with two parties having secured 37 seats in the 60-member assembly, with the NDPP winning 25 seats and the BJP winning 12 seats. Nagaland also scripted history as it elected women lawmakers for the first time ever. Salutonu Kruse won from the Western Angami Assembly seat and Hekani Jakalu from Dimapur 3 constituency.
I, Sri Nefurio, solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as Chief Minister of the state of Nagaland, and that I will do right to all matters of people in accordance with the Constitution and the law without fear of failure, affections, or ill will. I, Sri Nefurio, solemnly affirm that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person or persons any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as Chief Minister for the state of Nagaland, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Chief Minister.
The month of May 2023 was charred in violence, and the state in topic was our neighbouring state of Manipur. Violent clashes broke out in the northeastern state of Manipur after a tribal solidarity march was organized in the 10 hill districts on May 3rd to protest against the Meitei community's demand for scheduled tribe status. The escalation in violence in Manipur has its roots in an over 10-year-old demand by the Meitei community for a scheduled tribe tag. The immediate reason for this violence, however, was the Manipur High Court order directing the state government to recommend to the Union Tribal Affairs Ministry by May 29th an ST tag for the community. The petitioners argued that this community had once enjoyed the ST tag prior to the merger of Manipur with the Indian Union and sought the restoration of this status. The Manipur High Court directive triggered protests with thousands of people participating in a tribal solidarity march called by a student body in all the 10 hill districts of Manipur to oppose the demand for the inclusion of the Meitei community in the ST list. Union Home Minister Amit Shah also made a 3-day visit to Manipur that began on May 29 to assess the situation. Chief Minister of Manipur N. Biren Singh has continuously appealed for peace amongst both the warring communities. The tensions may have simmered, but the violence is still continuing as we speak. According to government figures, as of 15 September 2023, 175 people have been killed in the violence, 1,108 others were injured, while 32 are missing. 4,786 houses were burnt and 386 religious structures, including temples and churches, were vandalized.
My dear brother and sister in the state of Manipur, during the last around 24 hours, some incident of clashes, vandalisms and arson have been reported in Imphal, Shoshanpur, Bishnupur, Kangpokpi and More, etc. Precious lives have been lost, besides damage of property of residents, which is very, very unfortunate. These accidents are a result of prevailing misunderstanding between two sections of our society. The state government is seized of the developments and taking all steps to control the law and order situation. Additional central paramilitary forces have been requisitioned for deployment in sensitive areas. We are committed to protect the life and property of our peoples. Long-term grievances of communities will also be suitably addressed in due course in consultation with the peoples and their representative organizations. Manipur is a state in which we have all coexisted for centuries. We should not allow the culture of communal harmony between the people living in the state to be disturbed by vested interests. In this hour, I appeal to one and all to maintain peace and harmony in your respective areas. I urge you not to believe in rumors and unverified messages. While soliciting your cooperation in maintaining peace, the deployed state police and the central forces have been directed to take strict action against individual and a group indulgent in violence. We should all stand united to restore normalcy in Manipur at the earliest.
However, later in the month, India got a new parliament building embodying the culture, pride and spirit of the entire nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech, the centerpiece and concluding note of the inauguration of the new parliament building on May 28, sought to place this moment in a longer and wider national imagination. Built at an estimated cost of Rs 971 crore, sitting adjacent to the existing Parliament House, the building will accommodate 888 parliamentarians in the Lok Sabha and 300 in the Rajya Sabha, up from the existing 543 and 250 respectively. It was another disastrous month in June of 2023 when over 280 people were killed, more than 850 injured. India was mourning after a horrific collision involving the Chennai-bound Coromandel Express. The SMVT Bengaluru-Howrah Express and a goods train took place near Bahanaga Bazaar station on June 2nd. The Coromandel, instead of going past the goods train on the main line, entered the loop and smashed into the goods train from the rear. Pictures from the spot showed the Coromandel's locomotive perched atop the goods train. In some international event in the month of June, the submersible named Titan, carrying 5 people, disappeared in international waters in the North Atlantic Ocean near the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. Communication was lost 1 hour and 45 minutes into its dive to the wreck site, and search came to a tragic end after a 4-day-long search for the submersible. The US Coastal Guard has confirmed that all 5 passengers on board Titan died as the vessel was subject to catastrophic implosion at some point during its voyage towards the Titanic shipwreck. The debris of the submersible has been found on the seafloor around 500 meters away from the bow of the Titanic. India woke up to a disturbing and extremely graphic viral video in the month of July 2023. As the Manipur ethnic violence broke out in the month of May, it was only after 2 months that the whole of India's attention, even the mainstream national media, finally diverted to the violence in the northeastern state of Manipur. And it was due to a video showing 2 women from the Kuki-Zomi community being paraded naked by a mob of men and being sexually assaulted, bringing to light an incident which took place in Manipur in May, when violence first started. Barely 2 days before a police complaint was filed in connection with the incident, another 0 FIR in another case was registered at the same police station in connection with the alleged abduction, rape and murder of 2 Kuki-Zomi women. It was only after 78 days since the violence began and after the video went viral that Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi broke his silence in an address before the start of the monsoon session. Addressing the media, PM Modi said, "This is a shameful incident for any society. Who did this and who is responsible is another issue, but this has put our nation to shame. I appeal to all chief ministers to tighten law and order. The issue of a woman's honor is above all politics."
आज जब मैं आपके बीच आया हूं, इस लोकतंत्र के मंदिर के पास खड़ा हूं, तब मेरा हृदय पीड़ा से भरा हुआ है, क्रोध से भरा हुआ है। मणिपुर की जो घटना सामने आई है, किसी भी सभ्य समाज के लिए ये शर्मसार करने वाली घटना है। पाप करने वाले, गुनाह करने वाले कितने हैं, कौन है, वो अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन बेइज्जती पूरे देश की हो रही है। 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को शर्मसार होना पड़ रहा है। मैं सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों से आग्रह करता हूं कि वे अपने राज्य में कानून व्यवस्था को और मजबूत करें, खास करके हमारी माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए कठोर से कठोर कदम उठाएं।
July also witnessed the name changing of one of the most famous social media platforms. Tech billionaire Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, announced plans to undergo a significant transformation of the social media platform and revealed the decision to abandon the iconic bird logo, rebranding the platform as X and focusing on entering the realms of payments, banking and commerce with urgency. Since Musk acquired Twitter for $44 billion in 2022, the platform's advertising business has suffered a significant decline due to negative reactions from marketeers, AFP reported. They expressed dissatisfaction with the platform's mass firings, which impacted content moderation as well as Musk's management style. For India, the month of August 2023 would be an August to remember. The Indian Space Research Organization's third lunar mission, Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft, successfully landed on the south pole of the moon. A remarkable feat no country has ever achieved, amid cheers and applause among the scientists. The Vikram lander at Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft landed at 6:04 p.m. With the landing, India became the 4th nation in the world to successfully soft land on the moon and the first to touch down on the South Pole, an uncharted territory that scientists believe could hold vital reserves of frozen water and precious elements. As the Chandrayaan-3 landed on the lunar surface, ISRO Chief S. Somanath said, "We have achieved a soft landing on the moon. India is on the moon." The ISRO chief also congratulated his team on the success of the Chandrayaan-3 mission.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Sir, we have achieved soft landing on the moon. India is on the moon. Sir,
In another historic feat, in the month of September 2023, India hosted the two-day G20 summit in New Delhi on September 9th and 10th, joined by representatives of member nations and guest nations. Held at the Bharat Mandapam at the ITPO Convention Center, Pragati Maidan, the theme of the summit was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family, One Future. The event managed to achieve a lot of its aims, with the African Union being granted permanent membership in the G20. Further, the G20 also adopted the New Delhi Leaders Summit Declaration, asserting that today's era must not be of war. The New Delhi Declaration of G20 countries called on all states to uphold the principles of international law, including territorial integrity and sovereignty, and set the peaceful resolution of conflicts, diplomacy and dialogue.
सबका साथ की भावना से ही भारत ने प्रस्ताव रखा था कि अफ्रीकन यूनियन को G20 की स्थायी सदस्यता दी जाए। मेरा विश्वास है कि इस प्रस्ताव पर हम सबकी सहमति है। आप सबकी सहमति से आगे की कार्रवाई शुरू करने से पहले मैं अफ्रीकन यूनियन के अध्यक्ष को G20 के स्थायी सदस्य के रूप में अपना स्थान ग्रहण करने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं।
In the world of politics, September also saw the formation of a United Opposition Political Front, INDIA. Opposition bloc INDIA passed a resolution in its Mumbai meeting on September 1st, in which they resolved to contest the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections together as far as possible and immediately initiate seat-sharing arrangements in different states. The resolution has raised political heat across the country, with expectations of big decisions ahead of the Lok Sabha elections in 2024. We, the INDIA parties, hereby resolve to contest the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections together as far as possible. Seat-sharing arrangements in different states will be initiated immediately and concluded at the earliest in a collaborative spirit of give and take, the resolution passed by the opposition bloc in the INDIA Mumbai meeting said.
Our alliance will be called the All People Have Agreed to have one name for the alliance. Earlier, we worked with UPA. Now, with all 26 parties, a new name is given, that is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance.
Like the year 2022 saw the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, the month of October 2023 saw the breakout of war between Israel and Hamas. On October 7th, Hamas launched attacks on several Israeli cities, killing about 1,200 people and taking more than 200 hostages. The Israeli government formally declared war on Hamas militants in Gaza, setting the stage for a massive Israeli military response to the Islamist militant group's surprise attack on the Jewish state. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had already said his country was at war with Hamas as the militants' attack raged, but his assessment was rhetorical. The cabinet decision was an official declaration of war. Ahead of the cabinet vote, Netanyahu declared that Israel would take mighty vengeance against Hamas, even as Israeli soldiers battled Hamas fighters in the streets of southern Israel and launched retaliatory airstrikes that leveled buildings in Gaza. Over 100 people taken as hostages by Hamas have been released so far as part of the ceasefire agreements, but the war is far from over. The latest casualty update from Gaza's health ministry said 20,057 Palestinians have been killed and 53,320 wounded in the Israeli offensive that has destroyed huge swaths of the enclave and displaced most of the population of 2.3 million.
תזיז את הראשים שלכם מפה, תזיז את הראשים.
יש מחבלים פה באזור.
ראימה, פה לבטה יש. ראימה. ראימה. אללה אכבר!
כינסתי את ראשי מערכת הביטחון, הנחיתי קודם כל לטהר את היישובים מהמחבלים שחדרו פנימה. הפעולה הזאת מתבצעת בשעות הללו. במקביל הוריתי לבצע גיוס מילואים נרחב. אזרחי ישראל, אנחנו במלחמה, לא במבצע, לא בסבבים, במלחמה. הבוקר חמאס פתח במתקפת פתע רצחנית נגד מדינת ישראל ונגד אזרחיה. אנחנו בתוך זה משעות הבוקר המוקדמות. האויב ישלם מחיר שהוא לא ידע כמותו. אני קורא בינתיים לכל אזרחי ישראל להישמע בקפדנות להנחיות הצבא, להנחיות פיקוד העורף. אנחנו במלחמה ואנחנו ננצח בה.
Domestically, over 70 people were killed, including army personnel, in Sikkim after the South Lonak Lake, a glacial lake situated in the state's northwest at 17,000 feet, burst due to incessant rains leading to the release of water in downstream areas. This caused the rise of water levels in Teesta River that flooded at least 4 districts including Mangan, Gangtok, Pakyong and Namchi on October 4th.
गैंगटोक में हेलीकॉप्टर हम लोग ने रखा है, ट्विन इंजन का हेलीकॉप्टर है, वो भी वहाँ से उड़ नहीं पा रहा है क्योंकि वेदर खराब है। तो जो भी सरकार की तरफ से पब्लिक को सुविधा देने का जो भी काम है हम लोग कर रहे हैं। अब अभी हमारा फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी है रेस्क्यू, जितना भी फंसे हुए हैं उनको रेस्क्यू करना और वह मलबा हटाना, और जो भी अभी कड्डू है जैसे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कड्डू है, वाटर सप्लाई कड्डू, उनको पूरा बहाल करने का हमारा काम कर रहे हैं।
In the month of November 2023, India's attention turned towards Uttarakhand. In Uttarkashi's Silkyara tunnel in Uttarakhand, a rescue operation safely extracted 41 workers trapped following a landslide on November 12th. After being trapped for 17 days inside a tunnel, the trapped workers have finally been rescued by the efforts of multiple agencies including the Indian Army. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami monitored the entire operation for the past 17 days and said that the health of the workers were fine. A prolonged rescue operation came to an end on 28 November when a team of 14 rat hole miners and NDRF personnel rescued the workers. It was a test of resolve, grit and perseverance for those on both sides of the 57 meters of debris as the rescue operation suffered one setback after another.
भारत सरकार से लगातार बात हो रही है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी स्वयं सारी घटना को नज़दीक से देख रहे हैं, जानकारी प्राप्त कर रहे हैं और जहां भी जिनको निर्देश होने हैं वहां से हो चुके हैं। और हमने ये भी कहा है कि चूँकि टनलों का काम हमारे उत्तराखंड में बहुत ज़्यादा है, जगह जगह पर टनल बन रही है, इसलिए निकट भविष्य में हम जितनी भी टनल बन रही है उनकी भी सभी की समीक्षा करेंगे। एक बार की सभी टनलें किस प्रकार से सुरक्षित तरीके से आगे भी जो है उन पर काम चले और सुरक्षित तरीके से उनका निर्माण हो, क्योंकि आने वाले समय में ये चुनौतियां हमारे सामने आनी भी हैं और कभी इस प्रकार की घटना होती तो उसके लिए भी त्वरित रूप से जल्दी सहायता मिल जाए, जल्दी से जल्दी उनका समाधान हो।
In some mega sporting event, 1.4 billion people across the country suffered a heartbreak as India fell short of winning the One-Day International World Cup after a terrific campaign. For 40 nights since their first win against Australia in Chennai, India strode like the Invincibles, but would stumble on the 41st night to a team defeat. India displayed an outstanding performance in the Men's Cricket World Cup, maintaining an unbeaten record in 11 matches. However, the campaign concluded in disappointment as Australia claimed victory in the final match against the Indian team. Despite this setback, the tournament showcased numerous remarkable moments and an impressive all-round performance by India. And now to the month of December 2023. If the year 2023 started with the woes and cries of the Indian women wrestlers, it ended on the same line, rather a more sad ending. After the WFI body was suspended and the government called for an election to form a new body, on December 21st, Brij Bhushan's long-term loyalist Sanjay Singh was appointed the new president. Not only did Singh and his fellow Brij Bhushan confidants win 13 of 15 posts to which polls were held, not a single woman was chosen. After which, in an emotional press conference, Sakshi Malik put her shoes on the table in protest of Sanjay Singh's election and announced her decision to quit wrestling. Just a day after Sakshi's resignation, Bajrang Punia went to keep his Padma Shri award on the footpath outside the PM's residence. He was stopped at Delhi's Kartavya Path by police officials.
हमें बहुत साल लगे कि हिम्मत बनाई और हमने ये प्रोटेस्ट किया, लेकिन आज सब आपको नतीजा पता ही है कि प्रेसिडेंट जो है उसके बेटे से भी फिर उसका राइट हैंड यूँ मान लो प्रेसिडेंट बना है आज रेसलिंग फेडरेशन का। तो जो सरकार ने कमिटमेंट की थी वो पूरी नहीं हुई। हमारी मांग थी महिला प्रेसिडेंट की कि महिला प्रेसिडेंट होगी तो शोषण नहीं होगा। तो मैं अपनी कुश्ती को त्यागती हूँ और मैं आज के बाद कभी भी आपको वहाँ नहीं दिखूंगा।
With the 2024 general elections approaching, it was good news for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP swept Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, inflicting a resounding defeat on the Congress to tighten its stronghold in the Hindi heartland, in a big boost for Prime Minister Narendra Modi and setting the tone for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. And some consolation for the Congress in the face of the saffron wave after it lost Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, the party ousted the Bharat Rashtra Samiti in Telangana to make it 3-1 for the Bharatiya Janata Party in the latest round of assembly elections, billed as a semi-final before next year's poll showdown. Well, that was the recap of 2023. We hope that this year, 2024, will bring more excitement, positivity and hope. For more news like this, stay tuned to Hornbill TV. Goodbye.